This is the Sabbath School lesson for the fourth quarter, 2020.
Lesson 12 for December 12 to 18, Sabbath, Experiencing and Living the Character of God. Read by Dr. Percy Harold. Friday, December 18. From the book Steps to Christ, page 283, we read, "No other institution which was committed to the Jews tended so fully to distinguish them from surrounding nations as did the Sabbath. God designed that its observance should designate them as his worshippers. It was to be a token of their separation from idolatry and their connection with the true God. But in order to keep the Sabbath holy, men must themselves be holy. Through faith, they must become partakers of the righteousness of Christ. When the command was given to Israel, 'Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy,' the Lord said also to them, 'Ye shall be holy men unto me,' in Exodus chapter 20, verse 8, and 22, verse 31. Only thus could the Sabbath distinguish Israel as the worshippers of God." And then from the same book, page 288 and 289. "Then the Sabbath is a sign of Christ's power to make us holy. As a sign of his sanctifying power, the Sabbath is given to all who, through Christ, become a part of the Israel of God." And that brings us to our three discussion questions for this week. 1. Often Seventh-day Adventists spend time considering what is not acceptable to do on the Sabbath. Develop a set of questions that would keep Sabbath keepers focused on the ideals discussed in this lesson and that emphasize Sabbath as an educative experience. For example, what do I do on Sabbath that enables me to learn more about God's character? 2. Consider the quotations from Ellen White given above. They suggest that it is not just the formality of keeping Sabbath that distinguishes Sabbath keepers in the community. What would individuals be like that are partakers of the righteousness of Christ and have been made holy? What does this have to do with the Sabbath? 3. In what ways can you enrich your Sabbath experience? Identify 3 goals that focus on what you would like to learn through Sabbath observance in the next 12 months. Inside Story. Our mission story this week is titled Escape from Father in Paris, and it's by Malika Liakadi. I was born into a non-Christian family in Algeria, but I didn't live like people of my faith were supposed to live. My parents left me with my grandmother and moved to France when I was 3. After I turned 18, my father brought me to Paris to take care of his new wife and children. My time with them was hell. Father was a hard man. Not only did he order me to tidy up the house and care for the children, but he also used me as if I were his wife. When I refused his advances, he beat me. After several years, I tried to commit suicide. Father forbade me from leaving the house except to take the children to school. One day, as I walked to the children to school, I met a young man, a next-door neighbour, who took pity on me. Seeing the bruises on my face, he gave me a piece of paper with his mother's phone number. But I didn't call for help. Instead, I spent a lot of time looking out the window, longing to be free. The young man saw me and told his mother, "Did you see the girl who is always looking out the window? She will be my wife one day." I didn't hear the conversation, but I sensed that the young man wanted to marry me. I dismissed the thought. I couldn't marry someone outside my faith. My life reached the point that I couldn't stop crying. Father came into my room every night. I didn't want to live. One night, I looked out the window at the dark sky and poured out my heart to God. I was sure that a God lived in the sky. I remembered grandmother telling me about a God. I will marry that young man, I told myself. I will have a house and children. The next day, Father beat me again and left the house. His wife insulted me and went on an errand. The children were at school. I called the young man. "I want to go with you," I said. "I'll get you in an hour," he said. I packed all my belongings. Getting into his car, I learned that his name was Julien and that he was a Seventh-day Adventist from the West Indies. His mother, Simone, had made arrangements for me to stay with another Adventist family where Father would not find me in Paris. The family also was from Algeria. That's how I met Jesus. Today, Julian and I have our own home and children. We worship every Sabbath in church. My father eventually found me and, weeping, asked for forgiveness. I forgave him. Father has since died, and the rest of my family has rejected me for becoming a Christian. The church is my new family. And there's a photo of Malika sitting on a lounge chair, but we can't see her face for obvious reasons. Thank you for your Sabbath School mission offerings that help spread the gospel around the world.
Hi there. Thanks for watching this video on the Advent Band Ministries YouTube channel. Please subscribe and click the bell icon to be alerted whenever we upload new videos. So, until we meet him in the clouds, may God continue to bless you.
This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harold for Christian Services for the Blind and Hearing Impaired, Christian Record Services for the Blind, the Sabbath School Department, and Hope Channel. You can also listen on the official Sabbath School 4 app and the Apple iTunes app, Sabbath School with Percy Harold. Remember, God is always faithful.